Welcome back. Lincoln currency. It all begins with a single disc of metal, round and shining, waiting on the blanking press inside one of the massive U.S. Mint facilities. The year is 2021, and thousands of tons of raw zinc, coated in copper, are about to be shaped into the smallest yet most enduring unit of American currency, the 1-cent coin, more commonly known as the penny. From the moment the blank planchet is struck, that single cent embarks on a journey through history, design, economy, and collector intrigue. Though worth only a penny in face value, certain versions of the 2021 cent, because of how they were struck, where they were struck, or how the dies slightly malfunctioned, can command hundreds or even thousands of dollars in today's market. And collectively, the 2021 penny, in its rarity and abundance, holds a place that may one day be worth $32 million or more among collectors, investors, and institutions. Each 2021 penny measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter and weighs precisely 2.5 grams. Its core is zinc, about 97.5%, and its outer shell is just a 2.5% layer of copper. This composition has been standard since 1982, when the mint transitioned away from the more expensive all-bronze format due to rising metal costs. Though tiny, the coin is packed with precision engineering. The tolerance levels, weight checks, and quality control measures that surround its minting process make it a marvel of industrial replication. And yet, in the rare moments when the press misfires, a planchet is clipped, a die shifts out of place, a design is doubled, suddenly the ordinary becomes extraordinary. On the obverse side of the coin, the stern but familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln gazes to the right. This image, first introduced in 1909 on the centennial of his birth, was designed by Victor David Brenner and has become one of the longest-running coin portraits in U.S. history. The 2021 version still carries this image, though struck with modern dies that sharpen the edges, deepen the recesses, and add luster that glows under direct light. Above Lincoln's head appears the national motto, "In God We Trust," arched like a banner of fidelity. To the left, Liberty is etched in capital letters, and to the right, the year, 2021, is engraved. Below the date, a tiny mint mark, either a P for Philadelphia or a D for Denver, indicating the mint that produced the coin. Turn it over, and the reverse reveals the Union Shield, a design first introduced in 2010, replacing the Lincoln Memorial reverse that had appeared since 1959. The shield is deeply symbolic. 13 vertical stripes represent the original colonies, all bound together under a single horizontal bar, symbolizing the federal government. Across the bar, the inscription E pluribus unum, Latin for, out of many, one. Beneath, a bold banner wraps across the lower part of the shield, bearing the denomination, 1 cent. It is a simple design, yet packed with meaning and history, chosen through a national design competition and reflecting themes of unity and national identity. Now, in sheer numbers, the 2021 penny is anything but rare. Billions were struck, over $4.5 billion from the Philadelphia Mint, and over $4.4 billion from Denver. In total, more than 9 billion 1-cent coins entered circulation in that single year. And yet, within that enormous number lies the opportunity. When you strike billions of anything, there will be mistakes, tiny imperfections that turn a 1-cent coin into a $100, $500, or even a $2,000 collector's item. These are not fantasy, they are real coins, discovered by real people, in circulation, in change jars, in bank rolls, even in bulk lots bought online and searched coin by coin. Let's talk about errors. The most common valuable error types in the 2021 penny include double die obverse, where Lincoln's face or the inscriptions appear slightly doubled, off-center strikes, where the die hits the planchet misaligned, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks. A double die can occur during the hubbing process, where the die receives the design more than once but not perfectly aligned. This leads to slight but detectable doubling, often in the letters or date. In 2021, several confirmed double die varieties exist, especially in the Denver minted coins. PCGS and NGC, the top grading services, have authenticated these varieties and awarded them high grades and high values. For instance, a 2021 D double die obverse with visible doubling in the Liberty, Inscription and Lincoln's Eye has been sold at auction for over $750 in MS 67 RD condition. That's a single penny, worth 75,000 times its face value, because of a subtle minting error and preserved condition. And that is only one example. Another collector found a 2021 penny with a 30% off center strike. Lincoln's face was partially missing, yet the date and mint mark were fully visible. This increased the value significantly, as collectors love error coins where the year is still readable. That coin sold for $310 after being slabbed and verified. Condition is everything. A coin's grade, ranging from poor, P1, to mint state, MS 70, determines its market value. For modern coins like the 2021 penny, most interest is in uncirculated examples. An MS 65 RD, mint state 65, red, is considered gem uncirculated and might sell for $5 to $10. But when you enter the territory of MS 67 or higher, especially with a red designation, meaning full red copper luster without spotting or toning, prices jump. An MS 67 RD might bring $30 to $50, MS 68 RD? Now you're talking $200 to $500 depending on demand and population. Only a tiny fraction of the total mintage ever reaches these upper grading tiers. The grading services also issue population reports, indicating how many examples of a coin have received each grade, adding scarcity and value for the top-ranked specimens, but where things really explode is in the errors and varieties. A 2021 D penny with a prominent die break that runs across Lincoln's shoulder might be sold as a cut error and fetch $100. A full brockage error, where one coin impresses into another, could be worth hundreds more. And coins with unusual coloration, struck through grease marks, missing elements, or multiple planchets struck together, all these errors are not just theoretical, but real examples that appear at coin shows, auctions, and online marketplaces every day. And now, enter the speculative market, rumors, sometimes credible, sometimes sensational, of a 2021 1-cent coin being valued at up to $32 million. Where does this number come from? Is there a specific coin worth that much? Not likely as a single specimen, but the figure may refer to the total estimated collector market value of 2021 pennies in the years to come. Think of this: if just 0.01% of all 2021 pennies, just one out of every 10,000 coins, is a high-grade, rare error or desirable variety, and each of those coins is worth an average of $100, then across the 9 billion minted coins, you could have tens of thousands of valuable specimens. Multiply that out, and the collective market value of these exceptional coins could indeed approach or exceed $32 million. Still, there are whispers, one-off stories, unverified auction rumors, of a 2021 penny sold privately for 7 figures due to a unique, unprecedented minting anomaly. Whether fact or fiction, these tales keep the fire of curiosity burning, driving people to search their change, roll hunt through bank boxes, or order uncirculated rolls from the U.S. Mint in hopes of finding that one magic coin. In the pursuit of the exceptional 2021 penny, collectors and enthusiasts turn to what's known as roll hunting, buying sealed rolls or even full boxes from banks, wholesalers, or the U.S. Mint and meticulously examining each coin under magnification. It's a practice that blends patience, knowledge, and sharp vision. The idea is simple but addictive. Out of hundreds or thousands of coins, one might show a die crack, doubling, off-center strike, or a misplaced mint mark. That one coin could be worth 100 times the cost of the entire box. Thousands of hobbyists across the country do this weekly. Some even live stream the process, sharing discoveries in real time. It's a digital age treasure hunt, where one tiny copper disc could bring unexpected reward. The tools of the trade are modest: a good 10x or 20x loop, proper lighting, gloves, and sometimes a USB microscope for documenting and sharing error discoveries online. Coin forums are alive with daily posts showing close-up images of the date, mint mark, and inscriptions like "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," where doubling might occur. These communities validate, speculate, and often drive the early recognition of new error types. Once enough examples are verified, reference sites like Wexler's Die Varieties or Kanika begin cataloging them, sometimes giving them variety numbers that eventually make their way into grading service databases. This brings us deeper into collector psychology. The penny, unlike bullion coins or premium collectibles, is within reach for almost everyone. You don't need a fortune to start searching. Anyone with a bit of curiosity and time can begin hoarding or analyzing 2021 pennies from circulation. And that accessibility creates a massive network of amateur numismatists feeding data into the system, expanding the known varieties, increasing demand for specific errors, and slowly driving up prices for rare examples. There's a subtle irony in the fact that this humble coin, often discarded in change jars or lost between couch cushions, can inspire such obsessive attention. But therein lies the cultural power of the penny. It is democratic, ubiquitous, and yet capable of immense value under the right conditions. For over a century, it has anchored the smallest unit of U.S. currency, its image linked to Lincoln, its production tied to debates about federal cost, its form modified with wartime materials and changing aesthetics. As of 2025, debates continue within Congress and the Treasury Department over whether to eliminate the penny. Proponents argue the cost of minting a cent exceeds its face value, nearly 2.1 cents per coin when factoring in production, materials, labor, and distribution. Critics point to the inefficiency, to the millions of dollars wasted yearly, and to modern transaction patterns where digital payments and rounding methods make the penny obsolete. Yet others push back. They cite tradition, sentimental attachment, and practical concerns. If the penny disappears, will prices be rounded up rather than down? Would low-income communities be disproportionately affected? The debate continues, but until a decision is made, the 2021 penny remains one of the most recent and abundant entries into a denomination possibly nearing extinction, and should the mint cease penny production in the next few years, the 2021 coin may gain even more historical weight. Imagine a scenario where the last pennies are those from the early 2020s. Collectors would immediately look back at those final years, especially high mintage and high error years, and seek to preserve the best examples. This could spike values for well-preserved 2021 pieces, especially those certified by top grading services or sealed in original mint packaging. Already, rolls of 2021 pennies in unopened bank packaging are being hoarded by collectors anticipating such a scenario. Beyond grading and error varieties, there is another dimension: toning. Some 2021 pennies, due to environmental exposure or storage conditions, develop rich hues, blues, purples, oranges, that collectors find desirable. Though technically considered a form of corrosion, attractive toning can increase a coin's value, especially if even, colorful, and eye-catching. A 2021 penny with electric blue and violet toning and minimal contact marks might sell for $30 to $75 or more on the secondary market, particularly if combined with a rare error or high-grade strike. Investors also play a role. While most rare coin collectors are hobbyists first and speculators second, certain coins cross over into investment territory. Bulk buyers may acquire thousands of uncirculated 2021 pennies from bank sources or wholesalers, sit on them for a decade or more, and then selectively submit coins for grading. They track population reports closely, attempting to identify low population, high-grade coins that command premium prices due to their rarity within a set year and mint. If, for example, PCGS reports only a few dozen MS-68RD 2021 D cents, demand for those coins spikes among registry set collectors seeking the best possible example to complete their graded set. The registry set phenomenon is its own ecosystem. Grading services like PCGS and NGC allow collectors to register sets of certified coins, competing based on grade, completeness, and rarity. A collector with the top-ranked 2021 penny set may go to great lengths, financial and otherwise, to upgrade a single coin from MS-67RD to MS-67 plus RD, or from MS-68RD to MS-68 plus RD, even if the visual difference is nearly imperceptible. Registry competition inflates values for these top-of-the-top coins, even among issues as recent and as common as the 2021 penny. Meanwhile, auctions continue to push boundaries. At national shows and on online platforms like Great Collections and Heritage Auctions, 2021 pennies with dramatic errors or elite grades routinely fetch hundreds to thousands of dollars. A particularly well-known sale in late 2023 involved a 2021 D. Lincoln cent struck on a dime planchet, meaning the coin had the size and metal of a 10-cent piece but carried a penny design. This minting error, known as a wrong planchet error, is extremely rare and visually striking. It sold for over $3,400. Another example, a 2021 penny with multiple obverse die cracks forming a spiderweb pattern around Lincoln's head, brought in $820 in certified MS-66BN condition. The highest known sale so far, though not officially confirmed, was allegedly a 2021 D penny graded MS-69RD with a double die obverse and perfect copper luster. It was rumored to have changed hands privately for more than $12,000 in early 2024, a record for a coin of this year and denomination. If true, and if further public sales continue to climb, this could cement the 2021 penny as a sleeper hit in modern numismatics. And what about the symbolic value? Lincoln's image, staring out from a 1-cent coin minted during a time of political and social turbulence, speaks to continuity. In 2021, the world was still dealing with the ripple effects of a pandemic, shifting economic norms, and major social changes. That tiny copper coin, almost unchanged since its inception, passed through hands wearing masks, gloves, or tapped across self-checkout counters where cash was rarely welcome. It became less a medium of exchange and more a relic of a physical currency world slipping into digital abstraction. And yet, it endured. For children, the penny may be the first coin they hold, dropped into a piggy bank or given as change from a candy bar. For veterans, it might be part of the coin toss at a ball game. For artists, the coin might be worked into a sculpture or embedded in resin. For treasure hunters, it might be the key to a hidden trove of modern riches. And for the historian, the 2021 penny will always be a marker, a stamped, dated symbol of an age trying to balance modernity with tradition. Each 2021 penny carries within it not just zinc and copper, but a layered story of metallurgy, minting precision, economic friction, political debate, collector excitement, error fascination, digital documentation, market speculation, and human sentimentality. It is at once a mass-produced object and a potential masterpiece. In a world obsessed with rarity, speed, and immediacy, the penny invites patience. It asks us to slow down, to look closer, to notice what others ignore. To understand the full depth of the 2021 penny and its significance, we must look at the facility that created it, the U.S. Mint, a complex system of high-tech production and historical responsibility. With major facilities in Philadelphia and Denver, along with San Francisco and West Point for proofs and precious metals, the Mint operates not only as a producer of coinage but as a guardian of monetary heritage. In 2021, most circulation strike 1-cent coins came from Philadelphia and Denver, with no mint mark and a D mark, respectively. Each facility ran at near maximum capacity due to supply chain issues during the COVID-era coin shortages, forcing increased minting across all denominations. At the heart of the Mint's process is its engineering marvel, the high-speed coin press. These enormous machines are capable of striking up to 750 coins per minute. The raw planchets are washed, dried, and quality-checked before being fed through a press where obverse and reverse dies, hardened steel tools carrying negative impressions of the coin's design, strike with thousands of pounds of force. This impact transfers the precise, detailed images we see on each side. A collar holds the planchet in place, ensuring the edge remains round and the strike is centered. But despite the precision, even these cutting-edge systems occasionally fail. Minute misalignments or metal fatigue in the dies can result in anomalies. That's where the collector's treasure hides, in the space between intended perfection and mechanical deviation. Some of the most exciting 2021 penny errors stem from this process. Die chips, small pieces that break off a die, can leave raised blobs of metal on a coin, often referred to as cuds when they occur near the rim. One 2021 D penny with a cud on Lincoln's bow tie sold for $275 in raw condition. Another featured a die clash error, where the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghostly impressions of one design on the wrong side. That coin sold for nearly $600 after certification. These aren't accidents to be dismissed, they are stories written in metal, frozen in the instant where a tool slipped or a planchet misfed, and it's not only errors that matter. Die varieties, differences introduced during the creation of the die itself, are perhaps even more important. The double die obverse, DDO, remains the most sought after among modern coins. In 2021, several DDOs have been confirmed. Collectors seek out doubling in the Liberty letters, in the date numerals, or around Lincoln's eye. Even slight doubling, visible under magnification, can increase a coin's value tenfold. But the holy grail is dramatic doubling, clear, bold, visible even to the naked eye. One such 2021 DDO shows thick doubling on the entire word trust and liberty. It received a designation from Wexler as a new variety and sold for $1,250 graded MS-66RDE.TO. Spot these, collectors must become amateur detectives. The angle of the lighting matters. A coin tilted just so under LED light can reveal subtle doubling or surface shifts. Collectors train their eyes to distinguish between machine doubling, flat, shelf-like, and worthless, and true double dies, where design elements appear doubled with rounded separation. The difference is microscopic, but it changes everything. Then comes the role of mint marks. For the 2021 penny, P was traditionally omitted from Philadelphia cents, though still struck there. The Denver D marks stand proud, just below the date. No San Francisco business strike pennies exist, but S-mint proofs do, struck with mirror fields and frosted devices. These are sold in proof sets and are often collected in their pristine, untouched condition. Proof 2021 S cents in PR70 DCAM, deep cameo, condition can sell for $20 to $40, though even here, a misaligned die or struck through grease error can raise value exponentially. For those entering the field, building a strategy is crucial. Random searching may yield some discoveries, but a targeted approach increases efficiency. Focus first on unopened mint rolls, available on secondary markets, sometimes still sealed in original government packaging. These coins have never touched human hands, preserving their full red color and increasing the chance of high-grade candidates. Start with Denver rolls, where more error varieties have been reported. Use gloves, a bright desk lamp, and magnification. Begin with the obverse, check the date and lettering for doubling. Then check for die chips around the mouth, eyes, or bow tie. Flip the coin and inspect the reverse shield for die cracks or weak strikes. Bag up the regular coins and document any anomalies immediately. For each possible error, take clear photos and compare with verified examples on collector sites or forums. Join communities. Coin Talk, Reddit's r/coins, the Coin Community Forum, and Facebook groups dedicated to Lincoln cents are all filled with daily finds, discussions, and advice. You'll quickly learn what's genuine and what's not. And if you're serious, submit key finds to PCGS or NGC for grading and authentication. Yes, there's a fee, but the value bump for a verified, certified error can be massive. Beyond that, there's the hunt for progression. As dies wear out over time, they develop cracks, chips, and fatigue signs. Collectors seek the earliest and latest die states, known as EDS and LDS. A 2021 penny from an early die state may show perfect details and sharp relief, while a late die state may feature extensive cracking and distortion. Both can be valuable, depending on what the market seeks. Advanced collectors even track how a specific error evolves across dozens of coins from the same die. All this adds to the mystique of the 2021 penny. What seemed like just another coin year becomes a miniature epic. Billions of coins, countless errors, dozens of varieties, multiple mint locations, and an unknown number of undiscovered anomalies still sitting in pockets, jars, or bank rolls. This is modern numismatics, not looking only to the ancient, the antique, or the obsolete, but mining history and value from the very coins still in circulation today, and as the year 2021 ages, its coins become frozen in time. While at first glance indistinguishable from any other year's penny, they contain within them the fingerprints of a specific moment, of pandemic disruptions, minting overdrive, collector revival, and production pressure. These conditions create uniqueness. They leave behind clues, signals, and anomalies that transform what should be identical into what is one dash of dash a dash kind. So the search continues, not just for profit, but for participation in a living history. Collectors aren't merely hoarders or traders, they are preservationists, historians, and storytellers. They're the ones who, through patience and passion, save a coin from the fate of anonymity and instead elevate it to artifact. A penny found, properly attributed and shared, becomes part of numismatic literature. It earns a name, a listing, perhaps a spot in a registry or an auction. It goes from ordinary to immortal. To truly grasp the long-term potential and valuation speculation surrounding the 2021 1-cent coin, we must move beyond the surface and dive into the economic forces, raw materials, and historical comparisons that shape collector expectations and fuel investor interest. A single modern penny may seem insignificant, but when backed by demand, rarity, condition, and timing, it can become the cornerstone of a collection, or the object of a six-figure transaction. Coins, after all, are more than currency. They're commodities, artifacts, financial instruments, and historical witnesses pressed into metal. Let's begin with the elemental core, zinc and copper. Since 1982, the U.S. 1-cent coin has been made of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper in plating. This change was necessary due to rising copper prices, which had made the coin more expensive to produce than its face value. But even with the cheaper zinc core, by 2021, the mint was still spending roughly 2.1 cents to manufacture each penny. Multiply that over the more than 7 billion pennies struck that year and you get hundreds of millions in production cost for a coin worth 1 cent. Zinc itself is a widely used industrial metal, and its price per ton fluctuates with global market demand. During the early 2020s, supply chain disruptions, labor shortages, and shifting demand from automotive and construction industries affected the spot price of zinc. In 2021, the average cost hovered between $2,600 to $3,000 per metric ton. Copper, meanwhile, surged to over $10,000 per ton during the same period, driven by renewable energy and electric vehicle demand. Though the copper content in a penny is minuscule, even that plating adds cost. But the real expense lies in the logistics, transportation, packaging, striking, quality control, and payroll across the multiple mint facilities. The question becomes, if pennies cost more to make than they're worth, why continue minting them? The answer is both political and psychological. For generations, Americans have trusted in the penny. Its disappearance would feel symbolic, perhaps of a nation leaving behind something familiar. Lawmakers who propose discontinuing it face opposition from retailers, advocacy groups, and tradition-leaning constituents. Moreover, if the penny vanishes, so does a price anchor. Businesses would have to round transactions, and arguments persist over whether that would lead to inflationary practices, particularly in cash-heavy environments. Still, as the debate rages, the penny continues to be produced, each year creating a new wave of opportunities for collectors. That brings us to the speculative $32 million figure often whispered about the 2021 penny. On its face, it seems absurd. But dig deeper, and it begins to look like a plausible projection, not for a single coin, but for the total market valuation of high-grade and error 2021 1-cent coins in the decades to come. Let's break this down logically. Out of over 7 billion 2021 pennies, perhaps 0.01%, or 700,000 coins, exhibit some form of error or collectible uniqueness. That's a conservative estimate. Now imagine that the average certified value of those coins sits at just $45, based on current markets. That already gives us a market base of $31.5 million. And that figure could climb as more errors are discovered, population reports grow, and top-tier coins earn five-figure auction results. Plus, there's the addition of hundreds of thousands of rolls, unsearched bags, and mint-sealed kits sitting in collector safes, waiting to be opened. Those sealed units represent unopened potential. Like lottery tickets, they hold unknown value. And the market assigns a premium to possibility. Collectors love comparison, and one of the most apt is the 1909 SVDB cent, the famed first-year Lincoln cent, struck in San Francisco, with Victor D. Brenner's initials prominently placed. With a mintage of just 484,000, it became an instant rarity. In worn condition, it sells for hundreds. In uncirculated condition, thousands. And in MS 66 or higher, tens of thousands. It's a classic. But in 1909, coin collecting was largely a niche pursuit. In 2021, coin information spreads instantly via social media, collector forums, auction listings, and YouTube channels. This immediacy accelerates recognition of key coins. A rare 2021 error can achieve mass awareness in hours, boosting demand and increasing prices overnight. Consider the 1955 double die cent, one of the most dramatic and famous errors in U.S. history. Its heavy, naked eye doubling on Liberty and the date made it iconic. Originally discovered by circulation, its value has soared due to visibility and lore. In 2021, collectors hope to find a similar standout error, and while no doubling of that dramatic scale has yet emerged, the possibility always lingers. And that possibility fuels the hunt, which brings us to the psychology of modern collectors. There's something thrilling about the idea of value hiding in plain sight. A coin in your change jar, a roll from your bank, a 50-cent find from a flea market, any one of these could turn out to be a treasure. And as new generations enter the hobby, armed with high-resolution phone cameras, digital microscopes, and instant access to error catalogs, they bring renewed energy to the field. This influx of attention creates a market that feeds on both discovery and documentation. Digital platforms only accelerate this. A single viral TikTok video showing a rare 2021 penny selling for $800 can trigger thousands of searches. eBay listings spike, roll prices climb, and error varieties suddenly become headline news in collector groups. This rapid cycle of hype and validation can push even modest errors into the limelight, where demand temporarily outpaces supply. And every time this happens, it pulls more people into the hunt. There's also the factor of historical relevance. Coins don't just mark dates, they capture eras. The 2021 penny, struck in a post-pandemic, economically uncertain, politically charged period, carries the weight of that time. Future collectors may look back at this coin not just for its design, but for its symbolism. A small token from a chaotic decade. A coin minted during global upheaval. And that historical context always adds value, intangible, yes, but real. And then there's the copper itself. Even though each 2021 penny contains less than a gram of copper, large quantities add up. Some people hoard pennies by the thousands, storing them in bulk for their metal content, in case one day the mint discontinues the denomination and melts become legal. While it's currently illegal to melt U.S. coins, history tells us that laws can change, especially if the penny is discontinued. If that happens, people holding millions of 2021 pennies might find themselves with a commodity worth more in scrap than face. The 2021 penny is also unique because of production strain. That year saw the mint operate under social distancing, labor shortages, and logistical challenges. Die lifespans may have shortened. Quality control may have missed more errors. Planchets may have varied slightly in thickness or alignment due to rushed calibration. All of this contributes to higher error potential, and by extension, more opportunity. In summary, we're dealing with a coin that's incredibly common and yet potentially incredibly valuable. It's a paradox, and that's what makes it so fascinating. When mass production meets micro-variation, rarity is born not from design but from deviation. The ordinary becomes extraordinary not by intention, but by imperfection, and the market listens. Collectors build entire sets around error coins. Registry builders seek the highest grades, while roll hunters seek the unexpected. Investors, meanwhile, keep their eyes on population reports and grading trends. And slowly, steadily, the 2021 penny is evolving from a standard issue into a modern classic. Some coins slip quietly into circulation, forgotten as soon as they leave the press, and others rise to unexpected glory. The 2021 penny, humble and prolific, has produced several examples that have already etched themselves into modern numismatic history, not because they were meant to be famous, but because they weren't. Their significance came not from intention, but from error. These case studies highlight why collectors continue to comb through thousands of coins, because every so often, a truly exceptional specimen emerges. Take, for instance, the now well-known 2021 D Lincoln cent with a dramatic obverse die crack, often referred to by collectors as the Spiderweb Lincoln. What makes this coin stand out isn't just the boldness of the die crack, which spans from the rim across Lincoln's cheek and into the field, but its symmetry and visual appeal. Rather than appearing as random flaws, the cracks almost form a radial pattern. This coin was discovered by a collector in a customer-wrapped roll purchased at a grocery store coin machine. After being certified by PCGS as MS65BN with a major retained CUD, it sold through an online auction house for just over $1,550. Not bad for a 1-cent piece plucked out of change. Another example came from a coin show in Florida where a dealer found a 2021 penny struck on a dime planchet. These types of off-metal errors are exceedingly rare and always command a premium, but what made this particular example especially valuable was that both the date and most of Lincoln's profile remained intact despite the smaller planchet. With certification, it was graded MS64 by NGC and sold shortly after for $3,800 to a collector building a complete off-metal error set spanning the modern cent series. These moments reinforce the idea that in the chaotic, high-speed industrial process of minting billions of coins, something extraordinary will always slip through, and those pieces become icons of their year. Even more subtle errors, minor double dies, small die chips, and die scratches, are now being cataloged and tracked by dedicated collectors and variety attribution services. In early 2024, a new double die obverse for the 2021 D penny was submitted to Wechsler's die variety files and confirmed as WDDO-013. The doubling was visible on Lincoln's earlobe and jawline. It's not as dramatic as the famous 1955 or 1969 examples, but it's real, consistent across multiple coins, and has started to appear in online listings with increasing frequency. The first MS67RD example of this variety to sell at auction fetched $420, setting a benchmark for future finds, but it's not just American collectors fueling this market. U.S. coinage has long had international appeal. Collectors in Canada, the UK, Germany, Japan, and Australia actively pursue modern U.S. mint errors, especially in affordable denominations like the cent. The 2021 penny, because of its large mintage and global visibility, has gained traction on international numismatic trading platforms. In Germany, for example, several coin shops began stocking slab 2021 D errors as novelty investments. In parts of Asia, U.S. coins are viewed as accessible pieces of American history. One high-grade 2021 penny with minor doubling sold to a Singaporean buyer for $275 in mid-2024. The global reach of the coin, combined with ease of shipping and low cost, keeps demand strong and steady. With rising interest comes an increasing focus on preservation and storage. Anyone serious about collecting or investing in 2021 pennies, or any modern cent, must consider how environment and handling can destroy value. Even slight contact with skin can cause fingerprinting. Exposure to humidity leads to spotting or corrosion, especially in the copper coating. Red designations, which carry the highest market value, are only preserved when a coin remains untouched, preferably directly from an original mint roll or set. Coin holders, either 2x2 cardboard flips, plastic capsules, or certified slabs, are necessary for anything of even modest value. For raw coins, climate-controlled storage is critical. A dry, dark, stable temperature location is ideal. Desiccant packs inside coin boxes prevent moisture. Avoid PVC-based holders, which degrade over time and release chemicals that can damage copper. Long-term investors often vacuum seal their best finds, logging each coin by date, grade estimate, and possible attribution. When it comes to maximizing a coin's value, submission for grading is the next major decision, and it's here where psychology, marketing, and data all collide. The top two grading companies, PCGS and NGC, have established market dominance. Their encapsulated coins with tamper-evident holders and population tracking make buying and selling coins easier and more trustworthy. But grading is not without risk. Submitters must pay per coin, plus shipping and insurance. A coin that returns as MS64RD instead of MS66RD might actually lose value relative to the cost of submission. That's where collector psychology steps in. Many collectors, and even dealers, submit coins in bulk to increase their odds of receiving at least one MS67 or better. A roll of 50 coins might yield one or two that reach the top grades. That single high-grade example could sell for $200 to $400, covering the cost of the entire submission batch. Others prefer to use pre-screening services, where experts evaluate raw coins before choosing which to send in for grading. This reduces wasted grading fees and increases profit margins, but grading is also about rarity. If only 25 examples of a particular 2021 penny variety exist in MS67 plus RD, collectors with registry sets will fight to own one. That bidding competition inflates value, sometimes disproportionately to the visual differences between grades. Two coins might look almost identical to the naked eye, but one carries a $50 price tag, while the other sells for $800 because of a half-point grading jump. In these cases, the value is driven not by beauty, but by data, certified rarity and population scarcity. There are also emotional and cultural factors. The Lincoln cent is more than just a coin. It's a symbol. People connect to Lincoln's legacy, to the values of resilience, honesty, and unity. When that image is paired with an error or variation, the result becomes a conversation piece. It's no longer just a coin, it's a reflection of America's enduring traditions. And for some, that connection increases perceived value. The long-term outlook for 2021 pennies remains strong. As more coins are lost, damaged, or spent, the number of pristine examples drops. Meanwhile, error coins become scarcer as they're identified, certified, and locked into permanent collections. In 20 years, today's newly discovered 2021 D double die or off-metal strike might be one of only a handful left in the open market. Values could triple or quadruple, especially if the U.S. Mint finally retires the penny. The slow grind of time works in favor of early collectors. That's the nature of numismatics. Rarity reveals itself gradually. Coins that seem unremarkable today become legends tomorrow. And sometimes, it's the collectors themselves who make it happen, by recognizing what others overlook, by preserving what others discard, and by believing in what others doubt. As time marches forward and economies evolve, the penny stands at a fragile crossroads. Long admired, often ignored, yet constantly minted by the billions, the 1-cent coin has become both an icon and a burden. Its economic usefulness is routinely questioned, yet its symbolic power remains intact. In the halls of Congress, in the Treasury's budgeting departments, and among economic policy analysts, the discussion continues: should the penny survive the next decade? The hard truth is that the penny costs more to produce than it's worth. The U.S. Mint, transparent in its annual financial reports, has consistently stated that each 1-cent coin costs between 1.76 and 2.1 cents to produce, depending on metal prices and labor inputs. That means taxpayers are effectively paying double the value to keep the penny alive. Multiply that cost over billions of coins and you begin to see a compelling case for discontinuation. And yet, the political will to eliminate the penny has not materialized. Much of that resistance comes from the public's emotional connection to the coin. The Lincoln cent has been a fixture in American life since 1909, more than 110 years of history imprinted in copper and zinc. Ending its production would signal more than an economic shift, it would mark a cultural one. Lawmakers are hesitant to disrupt that tradition, especially since there's no overwhelming voter demand to get rid of it. As long as pennies remain in circulation and remain part of pricing psychology, think $9.99 instead of $10, retailers and consumers will continue to support its use, even passively. However, should the penny ever be retired, the ripple effect in the collector world would be immediate and dramatic. The last year of production would spike in value, much like the final year of any historic issue. If 2021, or any year, is ever designated as the final penny, demand for pristine examples would surge. Prices would soar for uncirculated rolls, sealed mint sets, and error coins. Casual collectors would rush to sort through jars and drawers. Dealers would revise prices, and grading companies would experience a flood of submissions. It would become a gold rush, only in zinc and copper. Until that day comes, we live in the in-between space where speculation drives the market and knowledge creates advantage. For collectors, this is where the real treasure lies, in knowing what to look for, in recognizing the signals others miss, and in understanding that within billions of nearly identical coins lie subtle differences that define rarity and value. So what exactly should you be looking for in 2021 pennies? First, I appeal. Coins with full, lustrous red color and no spotting or contact marks are always worth saving. A coin's color and surface preservation are crucial when determining value. Red, RD, coins command the highest prices, followed by red-brown, RB, and then brown, BN. An MS-67 RD example might sell for over $150. The same coin in MS-65 BN? Perhaps $15. Condition is everything in modern coin collecting. Next, seek die varieties. These include double dies, repunched mint marks, die clashes, die cracks, cuds, and strike-throughs. The best-known examples of 2021 varieties include the WDDO series for the Philadelphia and Denver issues, where doubling can be found on Lincoln's eye, earlobe, or lettering. These varieties are still being discovered. Every coin is a possible new attribution. A microscope or 10x loop will reveal details invisible to the naked eye, and this is where keen observers win big. Also, examine mint marks. The 2021 pennies come from 3 mints: Philadelphia, no mark; Denver, D; and San Francisco, S. The S-mint coins are only available in special proof or reverse proof sets sold directly by the mint. These are not found in circulation, and because of their lower mintage and special finish, they already command premium prices. An untouched 2021 S reverse proof Lincoln cent, graded PR 70 DCAM by PCGS or NGC, could sell for $80 to $150 depending on market conditions and certification population. The standard 2021 D and 2021 no mint mark coins, while common, are where most of the hunt happens. Pay special attention to off-metal errors and planchet anomalies. Coins struck on dime planchets or with missing clad layers are extremely rare but highly valuable. They're not easy to find, but they do exist, and every bank roll could theoretically hold one. The first 2021 cent struck on a foreign planchet, possibly intended for a blank from a different country, has not yet been publicly confirmed, but error collectors watch auction sites and forums with patience. If and when such a specimen appears, it would likely fetch a 4-figure sale price. Additionally, look for alignment errors. Off-center strikes, broad strikes, and rotated dies are always popular. A 2021 penny struck 10 to 15% off-center, with a full date visible and good centering, can sell for $40 to $80 raw and more if certified. A double strike with visible doubling of design elements is even more valuable. Then we have retained cuds and major die breaks. These result when a portion of the die breaks off and leaves a large blob or gap on the coin's surface. In 2021, several major cuts have been found, especially on Denver issues. These can command prices ranging from $100 to $500 depending on their size, shape, and grade, and don't forget transitional errors. If any 2021 cents were struck using a leftover die from 2020 or on a leftover 2020 planchet with a different composition, such an error would be massively valuable. While no confirmed transitional 2021 cents exist yet, collectors remain vigilant. It only takes one coin to rewrite the guidebooks. To maximize your odds of finding these treasures, source your coins carefully. Bank-wrapped rolls, while harder to obtain due to coin shortages, offer the best shot at untouched coins. Customer-wrapped rolls are unpredictable but can hold older or missed coins. Mint rolls and mint sets offer guaranteed quality, though they come with higher upfront costs. The reverse-proof and silver-proof sets from 2021 include the best strikes but must be handled carefully and stored properly to retain their value. Document everything. Keep a detailed log of what you find, where it came from, and how it compares to known varieties. Join forums like CoinTalk, the PCGS message boards, or the Lincoln Cent resource. Subscribe to digital versions of the Cherry Picker's Guide and Strike It Rich with Pocket Change. These resources provide identification tools, real-world photos, and updates on new discoveries, and finally, be patient. Coin collecting is as much a discipline of hope as it is of history. Most finds will be ordinary. But then one day, perhaps while sitting at your kitchen table, you'll see something slightly off, an extra thickness in the date, a slight rotation of the reverse, a ghostly outline of a second strike, and in that moment, you'll know you found something that transforms the mundane into the remarkable. The 2021 penny is still young in numismatic terms. Its story is still unfolding, and every collector who touches one becomes part of that narrative. Whether you're searching by the hundreds or just watching auctions online, you're part of a global community of people who understand that sometimes the smallest objects carry the biggest stories. In time, the 2021 cent may become a relic, a collector's classic, or even just a footnote in the long history of American coinage. But today, in pockets, jars, and rolls across the country, it still lives, still circulates, still hides in plain sight. And perhaps, just perhaps, the next $1 million coin is already out there, waiting in a coin roll, a drawer, or the palm of your hand.